Welcome to Recap Our Studio.
Welcome to Recap Our Studio. Please subscribe to our channel and press the like button for more interesting content. Today we cover a film called Werewolf by Night. This video begins with a voiceover outlining the background of the Bloodstone, a powerful mystical artifact. The Bloodstone family, who are skilled monster hunters, can manage and pass on the relic, which has been described as a weapon unlike any other for decades. However, since Ulysses' Bloodstone has passed away, a new owner of the artifact must be chosen. To that end, hundreds of hunters from around the world have been invited to his funeral to participate in a ceremonial hunt, with the winner becoming the next to wield the gem. Among them is Joshua Javan, who we learn has killed 57 monsters with certainty. Barrasso, who has 26 straight victories, has 37. Leon, with 43, and Jack Russell, with reportedly more than 100. Ulysses, a peculiar Elsa, who Ulysses joins the hunters with over Rusev explains, was thought to have the capacity to one day surpass her father as a monster hunter, but she chose to leave her family since she did not like their line of work. Being the next in her family to hold the Bloodstone, she has since returned to take ownership of it. She must, however, participate in the hunt with the rest in order to get control of it in order to aid her butler explain the hunt's regulations to Rusa owing to her decades-long absence. Rusa then reveals that the relic will be fixed to the monster's body, which will weaken and enrage it, and that the only weapons they can use to slay the beast are scattered around, as Billy Swan displays the reanimated corpse of Ulysses, who had prepared a brief speech for that evening's events prior to his death. She then explains that the winner of the hunt will not only be awarded the Bloodstone, but will also be named his monster hunting groups. Following that, each hunter goes into the area where the monitor is housed and starts looking for game. However, while they gaze about in silence, Jack and the pair can also unexpectedly run into one another. Elsa throws Jack out of the way and engages in a brawl with Javan, in which she demonstrates some of the training she's put herself through since leaving her family and manages to take possession of his axe before running off as she continues on with her hunt. Although this normally will result in the two hunters fighting, Jack suggests they just pass each other by, but before they can do anything, Javan appears and swings an axe at Jack's head, who is saved in the nick of time by she is able to kill him with the crossbow gauntlets still attached to a severed arm before he can do any more harm by firing a shot through his neck, despite the fact that he comes bursting through the door and grabs the axe himself and slashes open her mind. Following this, Javan comes into the room and starts looking about it. Fortunately, I was able to keep her and the dying Leon covered, so she just finds the axe, which she then grips onto once again. It turns out that Jack actually knows the monster, which is revealed to be the Man-Thing formerly known as Ted Sallis before undergoing this transformation, and that he has actually come to save him and aid him in his escapology. Meanwhile, Jack has continued his search and becomes the first to encounter the monster while hiding against some bushes. The creature suddenly reaches out and grabs him through the bushes. The brief exchange between the two suggests that Ted had previously needed Jack's assistance. In order to get them out of there, Jack intends to use the little gadget that will cause an explosion, which would then open a doorway to the outside world. However, while the two are conversing, Asa notices Jack and will probably start pursuing him, forcing him to flee and hide. But in doing so, he traps himself inside the family's burial chamber along with Elsa, who had already been hiding there to conceal her wound. When the doors are shut as they lock once shut, Elsa is furious with Jack and claims she only wanted to get the stone so she could leave her family behind for good, but she calms down after he helps her apply a tourniquet to her thigh because he believes her to be trustworthy. She eventually agrees to Jack's suggestion that they help each other out by revealing his friends with the monster in exchange for helping them escape, but first they still need to find a way out of the chamber. She remembers how when she was younger, her father would tell her stories about her crazy Aunt Frances, who would always believe she'd come back from the dead someday. Because she thought she would require an escape route after being raised from the dead, she breaks into her tomb and finds the keys to the chamber buried with her. In order to find the monster, Jack encourages her to approach him like an old friend and to address him by name as they make their way out of the room. However, before each of them can start their own independent searches, Jack unintentionally detonates the device, forcing the tutor to expedite their plan. Jack then searches for the closest perimeter wall to detonate the explosion. Meanwhile, Javon appears to be getting close to the creature, but fortunately he also shows up just in time to stop us from attacking, and he is instead killed by Ted, who melts his body with acid that spews from his hand as he grabs a hold of his skull. Ted also quickly gains his trust by calling him by name and tells him that Jack is waiting for him, who throughout this has managed to make it to the perimeter wall, and although we failed to get the explosive to stick the wall, the creature still, when she tells him that the Bloodstone can convert him in only 5 seconds, he apologizes for tricking her and tries to allay her fears by telling her that he only turns into the monster once a month, on the full moon, and that there won't be another one for 5 days. While profusely sniffing Elsa in an effort to remember her after his transformation, Jack quickly warns her that once he transforms, he must maintain eye contact with the other hunters and a few guards at all times. When Elsa questions whether this will actually work, Jack responds that they are the only ones, before vowing not to harm anyone else either. Rusa refuses, wanting Elsa to pay for her betrayal and wanting to kill Jack as the monster, so she sets a Latin spell before firing the stone into Jack, slowly forcing him to transform into a werewolf with a transformation shown to us through the stone. Jack begs them not to transform him, claiming there will be no mercy, and offers them to kill him as he is now. However, Rusa claims there will be no mercy, and she wants to kill him as the creature is soon revealed to have escaped the cell as it comes leaping from one of the 7 monster heads hung up on the wall and swiftly kills 2 guards. His shadow wants to get a closer look at the beast for Rusa, but this just allows him to grab hold of her arm and begin pulling her through the cage's bars until he's forced to release her after being electrocuted by the guards. However, this only results in the creature biting off his ear before it turns its attention back to the other guards. In the meantime, Elsa also engages in a sword fight with Aurelius Brusso, which she quickly wins after chipping him onto her sword and slicing his throat, as a roll then appears and attacks Elsa as well. The werewolf continued his merciless attack on the guards, tearing through them and killing them one by one, and now he looks to kill the Russo, but each time he tries to tackle her, she sends him flying back with the Bloodstone. It soon appears as though she may even kill the creature, but she is prevented from doing so by Elsa, who grabs Ahal and slashes her throat instead. As the image transitions from black and white to color, Billy Swan, who is now her butler, cleans up the area before inviting her to sit down at what is now her temple. Before the movie ends, Ted and Jack are having coffee and discussing their plans for breakfast when we next see Jack and Tin with the latter awakening and taking on a human form as Ted sits and listens to Over the Rainbow on a phonograph. Ted assures Jack that he, too, was unharmed during the rampage. The Marvel Studios' Werewolf by Night summary and explanation was complete at this point. Please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you find it entertaining. Additionally, please share your thoughts on Marvel's debut Disney Plus special in the comments section. Check out